What's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Twin Wrestle Pod, and we're going to talk about the upcoming wrestling free agents in the landscape of pro wrestling today. And if you enjoyed this video, man, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below for more content. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, so I wouldn't mind if you guys help me get in there. But let's go ahead and get into this video. We're going to start with the big fish, and that big fish being the man Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch just lost the Women's World Championship at King and Queen of the Ring, then lost her rematch in a comedic way, might I say myself, with Braun Strowman pretty much knocking a cage door into her. And now her contract is currently up. Now with Becky Lynch, man, I do not see her moving anywhere. But let me say this. If she were to move anywhere, why not AEW? Why not go in the ring against Mercedes Moné at Wembley All In 2024? There's no harm in that, right? I've seen a lot of people surface that idea around. I don't have a problem with that idea at all. Because if you look at the spectrum between Becky and Mercedes, you have to go all the way back to 2021 when the last time they fought in a match in a one-on-one situation. So what will it hurt if Becky goes to AEW and does a one-off match against Mercedes and put her over at Wembley? It might. I don't think it'll piss WWE officials off. You know, it just for the love of pro wrestling. So I wouldn't be completely opposed to that. But Tony Khan had to do his service and at least offer Becky Lynch a contract. That would do Becky favors because it'd put WWE in a situation to be like, okay, can we match this money or what? But it's something very weird about this TKO merger because it's more and more WWE people that's getting released and like leaving than UFC people. Like when you look at the spectrum, and that's kind of fucking crazy since they both merged into one company. But we gotta keep our eye on that. But I don't think that'd be that fucking ludicrous to let Becky Lynch walk. It don't even make sense. But man, the plan for Becky Lynch after WrestleMania was for her to take a break from wrestling. But once Rhea Ripley went down with that injury and she was plan B to win the Women's World Championship, kind of like how Jon Moxley was for AEW when he won it after the whole Brawl Out situation with Punk and the Butts and stuff. So Becky Lynch is in the same situation, same scenario. But me personally, I don't see Becky Lynch signing nowhere else but with WWE. They're going to lock her down just like they locked Seth down a couple weeks ago in a long-term deal. They just want to work out the details, but Becky Lynch has done everything she has to do in WWE. She literally came from NXT, who was an afterthought in Vince's eyes, and all those minions and Vince's minions. Completely catapulted herself in becoming a man in WWE, and at one point in time she was WWE's biggest star, at least one of them. So I think Becky Lynch stays with WWE, don't go nowhere else, and she returns sometime after SummerSlam or at SummerSlam. So I predict Becky Lynch to stay with WWE. Okay, next up, let's discuss Angel Garza. Angel Garza, when he was in NXT, he had a great character. The whole ripping the pants off, the flamboyant lover boy type of character who would go in the crowd and pick a girl from the crowd and this and that. But he can work in the ring. As of like the last 3 or 4 years, WWE has done nothing with this guy, which is absurd to me. But I get the notion not everybody can be, you know, that type of guy. But I thought he could have been a mid-card talent, kind of like how Andrade was. So I would not be surprised if if Angel Garza go ahead and test the waters and go to the Indies. I can possibly be seeing him going to AEW. I think he can do wonders in AEW in that mid-card scene because, one, like I told you earlier, he's talented, flamboyant, and he know how to get his character over. And he can work, and plus, he can talk on a mic. He just haven't been given an opportunity to do such things in the past couple years. He's either been stuck in a tag team with Humberto Carrillo, and I like their tag team. They got a good look as a tag team. Or he's in LWO not LWO, and he's in Legado del Fantasma as bad guy number 3. You're not using this guy to his, I'm not going to say full potential, but to better potential. So why not Angel Garza go ahead and test the waters? I can possibly see him leaving just to do that. Because in WWE, they have shown they're not going to do nothing with him. They're not going to put no tag team championship on him or Humberto at the moment. So what are we doing? He was started in NXT, went to the main roster to be paired with Andrade and Selena. Then went back to NXT when they couldn't find nothing to do for him. Stayed down there for a while. Floundered in the tag team division, had matches there. Now he's back on the main roster with Legado del Fantasma. They were feuding with the LWO, but now they're trying to recruit Andrade again. So we don't know where this is going to go. So I wouldn't be surprised if Angel Garza go ahead and test the waters in free agency. I think the AEW move for him would be a nice move, honestly. But it's just about what Tony Khan is going to offer the guy. And do we even want to pursue this guy? But I can see Angel Garza leaving WWE for AEW. Now let's discuss a guy who's in a major storyline at the moment and one of the best storylines going so far. We're going to talk about Chad Gable. Now, Chad Gable, all of last year, man, he had them banger matches with Gunther to the point where his daughter was in the front row crying because he didn't win an Intercontinental Championship. We thought it was all going to be building up to an eventual match at WrestleMania, but he was off of TV for like 3 or 4 months, like probably 2 or 3 months. I ain't going to say 4, but 2 or 3 months. Nowhere. He take losses to Ivar, whoever else at that point. But they totally dropped the ball with him in the fall last year to where he was non-existent on TV, and I thought that was a terrible thing for WWE to do. Now they rebounded by putting him in this situationship with Sami Zayn, and now he's turning that knob and becoming the heel, and much more character development, which is a great thing. And it's quite surprising that his contract is up like literally today. It's very weird, man. And people are bringing up the situation is whether is this the reason that he's getting a bit pushed now because his contract is coming up, which is a valid thing to say, right? Because he was gone for 2 or 3 months back in the fall. But Chad Gable, man, they got too much invested to him and with the storyline with the current Intercontinental Championship. So I believe Chad Gable stays where he is. He don't go nowhere. Because you're on cusp of winning the Intercontinental Championship at this point. So I do see Chad Gable re-signing with WWE because there's just no reason for him to go nowhere else at this point, man. No Indies, no AEW, none of that. Stay with WWE, stay in this major storyline, become the Intercontinental Champ, and see where you can go after that. So Chad Gable stays with WWE. Let's talk about Natalya. Natalya, she's the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division. She's been there for a decade plus, and she's just in this role where she's ushering in and putting over the younger talent. She just had a stint in NXT where she put over Lola Vice, and she's like a manager for another NXT woman superstar down there who I don't know the name of. But at this point, man, we know what Natalya's going to bring to the WWE product. I just don't see her going anywhere else, and she has an offer from WWE. I expect her to sign it. Her husband, TJ Wilson, is there. There's no point of her going to AEW or any indie scene. She's like grandfather into WWE at this point, man. I can see once her career winds down, she becomes like a coach for most of those girls in NXT, like what she's probably currently doing behind the scenes. She's like the moral compass back there, like person you go for advice to or anything like that. So I see Natalya sticking with WWE. I don't see no reason for her to leave WWE at this point. So my prediction is for Natalya to stay with WWE. Now let's finish up with 2 juggernauts that I think could possibly move, right? Let's start with Ricochet. Ricochet, former US champ, former Intercontinental champ. And he's currently in a good program with Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker. Ricochet is that guy you want to go in there and put in with guys to have good matches, i.e. Logan Paul, i.e. Dragunov, even though we know how good Dragunov is, i.e. Braun Breaker currently. Like, Ricochet is doing some of the greatest work in his career at this point in WWE, and I hear the conversation about him leaving WWE and going to AEW or the Indies or New Japan or wherever that may be over in that spectrum. The problem with him going to those places, like AEW, they already have a guy like Will Ospreay who can do most of the same stuff that Ricochet has done or who is capable of doing. And I hear a lot of people say something about what you see from WWE's Ricochet version is not all that he can showcase, but if you listen to any of his past interviews, especially like the one with Chris Van Vliet, he says he's getting up in age and most of this stuff is hurting his body, so he's cut back on most of the stuff he's doing. So I don't really expect him to go out there and be the Ricochet that we know him from, like Lucha Underground days as Prince Puma. You're not gonna get that version of Ricochet anymore. He's older, and most of the moves he was doing was fucking hurting his body. So I don't see him doing none of that stuff currently. Granted, if he do go to AEW, you're going to get great matches, but what else is going to come out of that? Ricochet is just going to be the same type of talent that they already have over there, as opposed to him being a WWE. I heard something great that he's the one of one there. Like literally, his catchphrase is one and only. He's literally the one and only person in WWE currently who can do the stuff that Ricochet can do. If you go to AEW, you got other spectrums of people who can do that. So that's why I don't see him going to AEW. I see him staying in WWE because you already got your market over there, man. Can't nobody in WWE do what you can physically do in that ring. No one. So why not just stay there, get that marketability there? You don't always have a spot on TV or anywhere just because of what he can do. He can bring to the table. Granted, he might not be a world championship wrestler, which is fine. Not everybody gets there, but Ricochet, I think he's in a great place in WWE. So I don't think him leaving and going somewhere else will change anything. He's going to be in the same type of position he is in WWE. That's just the facts. But I think Ricochet stays in WWE. There's no point in him going anywhere else. Alright, now we're going to finish up with Pentagon Jr. or Penta El Cerro Miedo. Now, I'm a big Pentagon fan going back from Lucha Underground, what he did in Impact, Indies, AAA, wherever. I am a huge Pentagon fan, man. Huge. So once he went to AEW, I couldn't wait to see him on a national televised scale. So you put him together with his brother Rey Fenix. They are, I think, currently 2-time AEW World Tag Team Champs. Awesome. They've been doing awesome stuff in AEW. Their classic steel cage match with the Butts. Don't get no better than that, man. One of the greatest tag team matches I've ever seen in my life. But that's just it, man. Like, being a fan of him and Lucha Underground and Impact, and being a fan of what they did with him and Lucha Underground and Impact, he was a singles champ. And like in AEW, he has yet to even conquer a singles championship. Not even an international title, not TNT, none of those titles, not even Continental. Like, me personally, I think Pentagon is much more than just a tag team wrestler. He's so much more than that. He's a great singles wrestler, and he has the potential to be a future world champ, right? But Tony Khan just don't put him in those positions. I don't know why. So with this contract coming up very soon, I can possibly see him leaving AEW and going to WWE, but his brother will play a factor of whether he leaves or not, because his brother is in AEW. But the thing with AEW is that made them so beneficial is that their dates are lesser and they give you the ability to work indies and stuff like that. That's what makes them so much attractive. With WWE though, can you imagine the marketability behind a Pentagon with his mask, his attire, the tattoos, all that stuff, man? The marketability mountain they can just push behind Pentagon, it would be insane. Like Rey Mysterio-esque, bro, because he's great in the ring. He has a good look. Like, it's so much that WWE can do with Pentagon. It's insane. Whether you put him on NXT brand or the main roster, I think Pentagon will do wonders for a WWE. So I wouldn't be opposed to him signing with WWE. So my prediction would be he ends up staying with AEW just because his brother is there and he's probably having fun doing stuff with his brother. And he's probably winding down, but Me personally, I want to see him in WWE just because I want to see him get it like a singles run. I was a huge fan how Impact treated him as the champ. Lucha Underground, of course, him going around breaking people's arms and shit. I like to see that, man. And I think the only way you're gonna get Penta in a singles capacity is if he go elsewhere other than AEW. But my prediction is for him to stay with AEW. And that's gonna conclude this video, man. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna see where all these free agents land. It's gonna be interesting for the summer. So that'll do it for me, man. You guys take care. And I'll see you guys in the next video.